Hey guys, tonight we're going to whisper our way across an ocean of ochre and rust, where the sun beats down with the unforgiving intensity of 1,000 tiny hammers, and the very air shimmers with heat, playing tricks on your eyes. You feel the grit between your teeth, the relentless, dry wind whipping your hair, stinging your exposed skin. This isn't your average stroll in the park. This is a journey into the heart of an ancient riddle, a quest for the secret of the Sands of Sara. Just a heads up, this particular historical deep dive, you probably won't survive it, at least not with your sense of modern comfort intact. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you right now. It's always cool to see how far these stories travel. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're standing at the edge of it, aren't you? Not a beach, not a shoreline, but a vast, silent expanse of desert, stretching to a horizon that seems to melt into the hazy blue. The sand isn't just brown here. It's a kaleidoscope of muted golds, burnt oranges, and deep crimsons, shifting subtly with every breath of the wind. This isn't a place you casually stumble upon. Oh no, you've sought this out, following whispers, decoding half-forgotten maps, and piecing together fragments of lore that sound less like history and more like fevered dreams. You've packed light, but not light enough, have you? That backpack, usually a trusty companion on your weekend hikes, now feels like a lead weight, pressing down on your shoulders, each step sinking slightly into the yielding surface. The heat, oh, the heat. It's a living thing out here. It presses in on you from all sides, radiates up from the ground, and beats down from a mercilessly clear sky. It wraps around you like a heavy, unseen cloak, sucking the moisture from your skin before you even realize you're sweating. You can practically hear your brain cells doing a collective sigh of resignation. Remember that time you complained about the air conditioning being too high? Those were the days, weren't they? Out here, you'd give anything for a single, crisp gust of Arctic air, even if it brought a polar bear along for the ride. Your immediate goal, or so you believe, is to find the ancient path, a forgotten trade route that supposedly led to the mythical oasis city of Sara, a place whispered about in hushed tones by desert nomads, a place that mainstream historians largely dismiss as pure fabrication, a mirage born of heat stroke and desperate longing. But you've always had a soft spot for the underdog, haven't you? For the stories that lurk just beyond the accepted narrative, the ones that wink at you from dusty scrolls and cryptic carvings. And the legend of Sara is certainly one of those. For centuries, possibly millennia, tales have circulated about a city buried deep within an unnamed desert, a city of unimaginable wealth and, more importantly, unimaginable knowledge. Some scholars, the fringe ones, of course, link it to the biblical Ophir, a source of gold for King Solomon, though that's usually pinned to various locations in Africa or even India. Others see parallels with the lost city of Ubar, which was famously rediscovered in Oman in the 1990s after being swallowed by the sands. But Sara is different. It's not just about gold or frankincense. It's about a secret, a fundamental truth that the sands themselves conspired to hide. As you trudge onward, the only sounds are the rhythmic crunch of your boots on the sand, the whisper of the wind, and the thumping of your own heart. It's a silence so profound it almost hums. No birdsong, no distant traffic, not even the buzz of an overly ambitious fly. Just you, the infinite sand, and the vast, indifferent sky. This is what true isolation feels like. You realize. A feeling that paradoxically makes you feel both tiny and incredibly significant. As if you were the last human on Earth, and the only one capable of uncovering this particular secret. You pull out the tattered map, a facsimile of an old parchment. Its edges frayed, its ink faded. It's less a map and more a collection of cryptic symbols and hand-drawn constellations, with a few notes scrawled in a language you only partially understand. Follow the serpent's back. One phrase reads, until the twin eyes align with the setting sun. Charming. You scan the horizon, looking for anything that might resemble a serpent's back. A long dune ridge, a winding dry riverbed. The desert, it seems, is playing coy. Historians still argue whether the concept of lost cities is primarily a romantic invention or a common historical reality. Consider the Silk Road, for instance. It wasn't a single road, but a network of paths weaving through deserts and mountains, connecting east and west for over 1,000 years. Along these routes, cities rose and fell with astonishing regularity. Oases would bloom, settlements would flourish, only to be abandoned when water sources dried up. Trade routes shifted, or invaders swept through. The sands, ever patient, would then reclaim them, burying temples, markets, and homes beneath layers of dust, preserving them in a time capsule of their own making. It's not so far-fetched, then, that a city like Sara, if it existed, could simply vanish. You pause, emptying half a liter of water into your parched throat. It's warm, almost hot, but it's life-giving. You ration it carefully, knowing that every drop counts. The sun is beginning its slow descent, painting the sky in fiery hues of orange and purple. This is the magical hour in the desert, when the harsh edges soften and the world takes on an ethereal glow. It's also the time when the temperature finally begins to drop, offering a brief reprieve before the stark cold of the desert night sets in. You need to find shelter, or at least a defensible position, before darkness falls. As the shadows lengthen, you spot something, a faint, almost imperceptible line on the horizon, a darker streak against the lighter sand. It's too uniform to be a natural dune. You pick up your pace, a surge of adrenaline pushing past your fatigue. Could this be it? The serpent's back? As you draw closer, the line resolves itself into a low ridge. Yes, but not made of sand. It's rock, a dark, weathered basalt, snaking across the desert floor like a petrified leviathan. This is definitely unnatural, or at least unnaturally shaped. It looks like a remnant of some ancient wall, or perhaps a long-collapsed embankment. You reach the base of the ridge just as the last slivers of sunlight cling to the western sky. It's even more impressive up close. The stones are huge, cut with a precision that speaks of an advanced civilization. Yet they are so eroded by wind and sand that their original forms are barely discernible. Moss, or what looks like dried lichen, clings to their surfaces, a stark splash of dull green against the dark rock. This isn't a natural formation. This is man-made, or perhaps civilization-made. As you run your hand over the cool, rough surface of one of the stones, a strange sensation washes over you. Not cold, not warm, but resonant, like a faint echo. You might even call it a hum, low and almost imperceptible, just at the edge of hearing, or perhaps just at the edge of your imagination. Is it the wind playing tricks, or something else? The desert, after all, is a place where reality often bends. Nomads have told tales for centuries of jinn and ancient spirits dwelling in these vast emptinesses, of the desert itself having a consciousness, a memory. Fringe scholars, of course, link these tales to early understandings of geomagnetism or even ancient technologies. But it's more fun to imagine a grumpy desert spirit guarding its secrets. You decide to make camp here, at the base of this ancient serpentine wall. It offers some minimal protection from the night wind, which is already beginning to pick up, carrying fine dust with it. You lay out your meager sleeping mat, a lightweight affair designed for minimalist trekking, and pull out your satellite phone. No signal, of course. You knew that, but the habit of checking dies hard, doesn't it? A faint smile touches your lips. Good. No distractions, just you and the secret. As the last light fades, the stars begin to emerge, not just a few twinkling pinpricks, but a dazzling, overwhelming blanket of diamond dust strewn across an inky black canvas. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a vast, shimmering river. In the desert, away from all light pollution, the night sky is an experience unto itself, a humbling reminder of the sheer scale of the universe. You lie back, gazing up, and suddenly the twin eyes from the map don't seem so metaphorical. Are they referring to actual stars, specific constellations, or something more esoteric, something only visible to those who understand the desert's arcane language? The air grows colder, quickly. You pull your lightweight sleeping bag around you, trying to ignore the persistent chill that seems to seep into your bones. The silence returns, broken only by the occasional rustle of unseen creatures, a desert fox, perhaps, or a nocturnal rodent. You close your eyes, trying to rest, but your mind is buzzing. The wall, the map, Sara. The legends surrounding Sara often speak of its founders as not entirely human, or at least possessing knowledge far beyond their time. Some ancient texts, obscure and often dismissed as mythological, describe them as children of the stars or keepers of the primal truths. This isn't a mainstream historical fact, mind you, but it's a quirky tidbit that keeps the romance of the lost city alive. It fuels the imaginations of those who believe that humanity, as past, is far more complex and mysterious than we currently understand. Perhaps they were just really good at engineering, or had a sophisticated understanding of irrigation that allowed them to thrive, where others couldn't. Or maybe, just maybe, they had some help from above. Historians still argue whether such grand claims are just poetic embellishment, or faint echoes of genuine, forgotten interactions. You drift into a fitful sleep, filled with dreams of swirling sands, towering structures, and a whisper of a name, Sara. When you wake, the first sliver of dawn is painting the eastern sky in soft pastels. The air is still frigid, but you feel a renewed sense of purpose. Today, you'll follow the wall. You pack up quickly, a routine born of necessity, and take another careful sip of water. The serpent's back stretches before you, an irresistible invitation. As you walk, the ridge occasionally dips, almost disappearing into the sand, only to re-emerge further on. You realize it's not a continuous wall, but rather a series of outcroppings, remnants of something much larger, mostly buried by the relentless march of time and sand. You notice subtle markings on some of the more exposed stones, faint carvings, geometric patterns that seem to flow and interlock. They aren't typical pictographs or hieroglyphs, but something alien, elegant, and strangely familiar, like a pattern you've seen in a dream. The landscape begins to change, subtly at first. The dunes become less chaotic, more structured, almost as if they've been shaped by an unseen hand. The sand itself seems to have a different quality, finer, almost silken. And then you see it, a single, solitary tree. In the middle of nowhere, it's a gnarled, ancient acacia, its branches twisted like arthritic fingers. But it's alive, a startling splash of green in a world of gold. This is more than just a tree, it's a sign. Where there is a tree, there is water, or at least, there once was. You approach the tree cautiously, almost reverently. Beneath its meager shade, you discover something incredible. A stone wellhead, mostly buried by sand, but clearly man-made. The stones are expertly cut, fitting together without mortar, showing the same strange carvings you saw on the wall. You clear away some of the sand and peer inside. It's deep, impossibly deep, but at the very bottom you catch a glimpse of dark, still water. A miracle. You lower your collapsible bucket, tied to your trusty rope, and wait. The anticipation is almost unbearable. After what feels like an eternity, you pull it up. The water is cool, sweet, and pure. You drink deeply, feeling the life flow back into your veins. This isn't just an oasis, it's confirmation. Someone was here. Someone built this. This wasn't a temporary camp. This was a deliberate act of settlement. This was the mark of a people who truly understood the desert, who knew how to coax life from its barren embrace. This well, you realize, isn't just a source of water. It's a waypoint, a marker on a forgotten journey. It confirms your hunch that the serpent's back wasn't just a physical feature, but a guide, leading you from one hidden point to the next. The ancient map, cryptic as it was, wasn't leading you astray. You refill your water bottles and take a moment to rest under the acacia's thin shade. The air here, near the well, feels different, cooler, perhaps, but also charged, like static electricity before a storm. Your skin tingles. You scan the horizon, feeling a familiar pull, a sense of direction that isn't on your map, but resonates deep within you. It's almost as if the desert itself is guiding you now, the whispers of the wind carrying not just dust, but secrets. The sun begins to climb higher, and you know you can't linger. You leave the well, following the faint trail that seems to lead away from it, deeper into the shifting dunes. The path isn't marked, but the sand here feels different, subtly firmer underfoot, as if countless footsteps, long ago, compacted it. Or perhaps it's just wishful thinking fueled by your desperate need for progress. But you press on, driven by an unshakable conviction. As the day wears on, the heat becomes oppressive once more. Mirages dance on the distant horizon, shimmering lakes and cities that vanish when you approach them. Your mind begins to play tricks, conjuring phantom voices on the wind. The faint smell of blooming flowers where there is only sand. This is the desert's way of testing you, of sifting out the weak, leaving only those truly committed to its secrets. You remember reading about the Bedouins, the desert people, and their incredible knowledge of the land. They can read the subtle signs of the wind, the slight variations in sand composition, the almost invisible tracks of creatures, all to navigate what appears to an outsider as an undifferentiated expanse. Their wisdom, honed over millennia, is part of why many historians believe that while cities might be swallowed, the knowledge of their existence often persists in oral traditions, passed down from generation to generation. Perhaps this is how the legend of Sara endured, a secret whispered around campfires, a cautionary tale, or a tantalizing promise. Late in the afternoon, as the sun dips lower, painting the sky in ever more dramatic shades, you notice something truly odd. The sand in front of you isn't just golden, it's beginning to glow, not like a reflection of the sun, but with an internal luminescence, a faint, almost ethereal light that seems to pulse with a slow, steady rhythm. You stop, your heart hammering against your ribs. This isn't a mirage. This is real. You take a cautious step forward. The light seems to originate from just beneath the surface, as if the very grains of sand are imbued with some strange energy. You stoop down, scooping up a handful of the glowing sand. It feels normal, just fine, warm sand. But in the fading light, it radiates a soft, golden glow that clings to your skin like fairy dust. You've never seen anything like it. This certainly isn't in any geology textbook you've ever read. This is a whole new level of quirky tidbit. As you look around, you realize the glow isn't isolated. It extends in a wide, irregular circle, almost as if something massive is buried beneath. The ground here feels different too, firmer, as if you're walking on a vast, hidden platform. Your compass, which has been useless for hours due to what you assumed was just magnetic interference from the minerals in the rock, suddenly begins to spin wildly, then settles, pointing not north, but directly towards the center of the glowing circle. Could this be it? The twin eyes aligning, not with the setting sun, perhaps, but with some unseen energy, some hidden source radiating from beneath the sands. The air crackles with an almost palpable energy. It's not just the heat anymore. It's something electric, something ancient and powerful. You feel a strange sense of anticipation, a feeling that you are on the very cusp of a revelation. This isn't just sand. This is history, vibrating with a forgotten secret. You feel it, don't you? That low thrumming, a vibration not just in the sand, but deep in your chest, resonating with something you can't quite name. It's like standing too close to a subwoofer at a concert, except the bass line is ancient, and the venue is the entire desert. The glowing sand A soft, pulsating gold stretches out before you, illuminating the encroaching twilight with an otherworldly glow. It's beautiful, inner terrifying. This dash is dash definitely dash, not dash normal kind of way. You briefly wonder if you've stumbled onto a long-lost alien landing strip, or perhaps a particularly ambitious glowworm convention. Either way, it's a far cry from your usual Monday night. As your fingers meet the cool, dark surface, the hum intensifies again, rising in pitch ever so slightly, and the lines on the pillar burst forth, projecting another holographic image onto the floor. This one is different. It's not a star map, but a complex, three-dimensional architectural rendering. It depicts the city of Sara, not as a collection of buried ruins, but as it once was, a magnificent, sprawling metropolis. It rises from the desert, gleaming with structures of the same dark, seamless material as this chamber, interspersed with what look like vast, crystalline domes. Water features abound, canals and fountains, creating an impossible oasis in the heart of the most arid land. Overhead, strange, elongated vehicles, not quite flying, but gliding silently, traverse the sky, leaving no visible exhaust. And then, the people. They are tall, slender figures, moving with an elegant grace. Their faces indistinct in the projection, but their forms undeniably humanoid. They interact with their city, with the land, with each other, in ways that speak of profound harmony. The projection zooms in, then out, showing the city's relationship to the serpent's back. Not a wall, but a massive, curved energy conduit, snaking for miles across the desert, feeding power to the city, drawing it directly from the Earth's core, or perhaps from some advanced atmospheric conversion process. And those twin eyes from the map, they were not just the gateway to this chamber, but vast, circular energy collection points, like colossal solar rays, but working with something far more fundamental than sunlight. They were literally the eyes through which the city saw and absorbed the energy it needed to thrive. The level of technological sophistication displayed is absolutely mind-boggling. We're talking beyond anything we understand today, even with all our supercomputers and quantum physics. Think of our grandest architectural feats, the pyramids, the Great Wall, the Burj Khalifa. Then imagine them built not by brute force and primitive tools, but by an understanding of energy and material science that borders on magic. The projected vehicles seem to defy gravity with a casual elegance. The water flows against natural inclinations, defying thermodynamics, clearly channeled and purified by unseen forces. This is the stuff of ancient legends and conspiracy theories, the kind that usually involves grainy photos of saucers and whispered tales of government cover-ups. But here it is, playing out before your very eyes. A silent testament to a civilization that could have plucked the moon from the sky and polished it, if they felt like it. Historians, you think again, would spontaneously combust, then probably reanimate just to argue about the proper dating methods for a city that used anti-gravity hovercar pools. The projection shifts, showing the city's construction, an almost balletic process of massive blocks of material lifting and locking into place with unseen force, guided by the slender figures. There's no heavy machinery, no noise, just a silent, flowing assembly. It's beautiful, chilling and makes you wonder if our own species, for all its noisy, grimy progress, ever truly understood the elegance of efficiency. They didn't build asterisk with asterisk the desert. They built asterisk as part of asterisk it. A symbiotic relationship with the very land. You pull your hand away, and the city projection retreats back into the pillar, leaving you once again in the soft, ambient glow of the chamber. Your mind races, trying to reconcile the image of this impossible metropolis with the endless, barren sands you just traversed. What happened to it? How could such a civilization simply vanish, leaving barely a whisper in the wind? Save for the cryptic map and a few incredibly stubborn, glowing grains of sand, you glance at the golden pool in the center. It still pulses with that deep, vibrant light, a silent, swirling heart at the core of this ancient complex. It feels like the central brain, the primary power source, and perhaps the key to understanding asterisk why asterisk Sara vanished. You move to a third pillar, feeling an increasing urgency to glean as much as you can from this silent, technological museum. As you approach this one, the patterns on its surface seem more organic, almost biological in nature. Not just geometric, but flowing, branching, like neural pathways or root systems. Another touch, another surge of energy. This time, the projection that springs forth is utterly unlike the others. It's not stars or cities, but life. A swirling, vibrant tapestry of biological forms, rendered in exquisite, almost molecular detail. It starts with microscopic organisms, then flows into complex flora and fauna, not just of Earth, but of other planets. Strange, luminous plants that breathe light, creatures with multiple limbs, and beings that seem to be composed of pure energy. It's a comprehensive biological database, an encyclopedia of life across the cosmos. And then the focus shifts. It zooms in on a single, recurring form, a template of sorts. It's a bipedal, humanoid figure, but without the specific racial or cultural markers we associate with Earth. It seems to be a foundational blueprint from which countless variations, including, perhaps, humanity itself, could have evolved. And then, the most unsettling part. The projection shows a series of interspecies interactions, not just battles or competition, but instances of deliberate, intelligent guidance. The tall, slender figures from the Sara City projection reappear, interacting with other, less technologically advanced species on various planets, including what look like early hominids on a recognizable blue-green sphere, Earth. They seem to be teaching, guiding, sharing knowledge. This isn't just a biological database. It's a record of their purpose, their mission. The children of the stars weren't just a metaphor. They were cultivators, guardians, perhaps even genetic architects, subtly influencing the development of life across the galaxy. This is the kind of revelation that would make paleontologists faint, then get into a fistfight with anthropologists about the precise timing of this guidance. The entire accepted timeline of human evolution, of civilization itself, would have to be thrown out and started from scratch. Talk about an inconvenient truth. The projection shows subtle interventions, nudges in genetic code, the introduction of key concepts like agriculture, language, or basic societal structures at pivotal moments. all done with a delicate touch, like a gardener tending a vast, cosmic garden. It's not colonization, not subjugation. It's stewardship. They weren't gods, but they definitely played a long game, a very asterisk long game. You realize this is the primal truths the legends spoke of, not just a truth about themselves, but a truth about life, about creation, about the fundamental interconnectedness of all living things, and their role in cultivating it. It implies that humanity, our intelligence, our very existence, might not be a purely random evolutionary fluke, but a carefully nurtured seedling in a vast, ancient orchard. That's a thought that certainly wakes you up more than any cold shower. You pull your hand away, the biological tapestry receding. You stand there, a lone human in an impossibly ancient, alien library, trying to process the sheer audacity of what you've just witnessed. The implications are mind-bending. If Sara was a hub for this galactic gardening, then where are they now? Did they leave? Did they fail? Or are they still out there, subtly guiding, watching? The silence of the chamber, punctuated only by the constant, low hum, feels heavier now, charged with the weight of millennia of secrets. You feel a strange mixture of awe, gratitude, and a profound sense of loneliness. You, a tiny speck of humanity, have just glimpsed the cosmic truth, and there's not a soul around to share it with, not a single historical society you could email without being sectioned. You look back at the shimmering, golden pool. It feels like the next logical step, the central nexus. It emanates a power that is both comforting and intimidating. Is it the source of all this information, or merely the interface? Is it a record, a communication device, or perhaps a gateway? You approach the pool, the air growing warmer, more humid, the sweet, metallic scent intensifying. The golden liquid ripples gently, almost invitingly. You can feel the energy radiating from it, pulsing against your skin, a pure, concentrated essence of the power that built this city, that cultivated civilizations across the stars. This isn't just water or energy, it feels like liquid memory, liquid truth. You cautiously extend your hand, hesitating just inches above the glowing surface. What if it's corrosive? What if it's a portal that sends you hurtling across galaxies without a return ticket? These are the real questions you ask yourself in these situations. Not just is it safe, but what kind of wildly inconvenient adventure am I about to sign up for? Your fingers dip into the luminous gold. It's warm, viscous, yet completely non-Newtonian in its properties. Neither liquid nor solid, but something in between, yielding to your touch yet retaining its form. It doesn't cling, doesn't absorb, but glides around your skin like fine, electrified silk. And as your hand submerges, the hum of the chamber swells, growing louder, resonating not just in the air, but asterisk through asterisk you, vibrating in your very bones, in your bloodstream. Then images flood your mind, not just visual, but sensory, emotional. You are not asterisk seeing asterisk them. You are asterisk experiencing asterisk them. You are standing on a vibrant, alien world, the air thick with unfamiliar scents, the sky painted in hues you've never witnessed. You feel the ground beneath your feet, not solid rock, but something organic, yielding. You see the slender figures of Sara, not as distant projections, but as living, breathing beings, their forms clearer now, their eyes deep and knowing. They communicate, not with words, but with a direct transfer of thought. A symphony of pure intention. You experience their journey, their purpose. They are not conquerors, nor are they saviors. They are custodians, preserving life, fostering growth, ensuring diversity across the cosmos. You feel their triumphs, the flourishing of life under their gentle guidance. You feel their moments of profound sadness, the loss of certain species, the collapse of civilizations that veered too far from balance. And then, a new set of images, a shift in the narrative. They are returning to Earth, to Sara, the city of light in the desert. But the planet is troubled. There's a faint, underlying dissonance, a rising tide of imbalance. You feel their concern, their attempts to intervene more directly, but with caution, with respect for nascent free will. They are trying to nudge, not control. But something shifts on Earth, a growing discord, a force of destruction that seems to emerge from within humanity itself, a hunger for power and control that eclipses their subtle guidance. The image of Sara, once so vibrant, becomes shadowed. The golden pool, as you experience it, begins to reflect this shift, its light dimming, its hum faltering. You see the decision, not spoken, but felt. They cannot stay. To directly intervene would be to violate the very principle of growth and self-determination they have fostered. To fight would be to descend to the level of the aggressors. So they choose to preserve. They decide to bury their city, to protect their knowledge, their legacy from the coming storm. To wait until humanity is ready, until the balance might shift once more. The burial is not an act of surrender, but an act of hope. A hope that one day, perhaps millennia later, someone would find it. Someone who was curious, respectful, and open enough to understand the primal truths. Someone likes you. The images flash faster now. A compressed history. The city sinking into the sand, cloaked in an energetic field that keeps it stable, preserving its functions for a future reawakening. The gradual fading of their direct presence, the lingering hope, the silent vigil. You feel the essence of their core message. We are still here. The knowledge remains. The work continues through you. Suddenly, your hand is out of the pool, as if yanked by an unseen force. The flood of images, emotions, and alien knowledge recedes, leaving you gasping, shivering, back in the silent, glowing chamber. The golden liquid ripples gently, as if nothing has happened, as if it didn't just pour the history of an entire galactic civilization directly into your consciousness. You stumble back, collapsing onto the dark, smooth floor, your mind reeling. That wasn't just a projection. That was an asterisk experience, asterisk. You didn't just asterisk learn asterisk about Sara. You asterisk lived asterisk a part of its final moments, its purpose, its legacy. You now understand what the secret of the Sands of Sara truly is. Not just a buried city, but a buried asterisk truth asterisk about humanity's place in a much larger, much older, and far more complex cosmic tapestry. You try to breathe, to slow your hammering heart. Your head swims with alien starscapes, with the silent communications of ancient, elegant beings, with the bittersweet choice to retreat and preserve rather than confront. This isn't just a historical deep dive anymore. This is a full-body immersion into the very fabric of existence, as understood by a species light years beyond our current comprehension. The hum of the chamber feels different now, not just a low thrum, but a resonant whisper, a multitude of voices, silent, yet speaking directly to your new understanding. It's like the chamber itself, and the city it houses, has acknowledged you, accepted you, perhaps even integrated you into its ancient purpose. Your fatigue is completely gone, replaced by an almost unnerving clarity. You look at the pillars, the golden pool, the vast, circular chamber, and you see them not as inert structures, but as components of a living, breathing entity, a colossal repository of knowledge, power, and purpose, waiting, dormant, for the right time or the right person to reawaken it. And that person, it seems, is you. The weight of this knowledge is immense, almost crushing. You are now privy to a secret that could shatter global paradigms, rewrite every history book, and send every theologian into a philosophical meltdown. What do you do with this? Do you try to tell the world and risk being laughed out of every institution, or worse, becoming a pawn in a global power struggle for this unimaginable technology? Or do you keep it, a lone guardian of a truth too vast for the current human understanding? The desert night outside must be at its deepest, darkest point, but down here, in the heart of Sara, time has no meaning. The soft, internal glow remains constant, eternal. You are no longer just an explorer. You are a recipient, a witness, perhaps even an inheritor. The question isn't just what Sara was trying to tell us, but what you are now supposed to do with their message. The Sands, it turns out, weren't just hiding a city. They were hiding a legacy, a responsibility, and you've just signed up for it, whether you like it or not. And your satellite phone still doesn't have reception. You're really in a bind now, aren't you? You're really in a bind now, aren't you? Not just lost in the desert with a dead phone bind, but burdened with the secrets of the cosmos and the fate of humanity resting vaguely on your exhausted shoulders bind. It's a whole new level of oops. Your internal monologue is currently screaming, which is surprisingly quiet given the sheer, overwhelming deluge of information that just got mainline dripped into your consciousness. You still can't quite breathe properly. Your lungs feel like they've forgotten how to expand, constrained by the impossible weight of what you now know. You try to push yourself up, but your limbs feel like overcooked spaghetti. Your head spins, not from fatigue, but from the sheer computational power of your brain attempting to process millennia of galactic history, interspecies cultivation, and the bittersweet, strategic retreat of a civilization light years beyond our own. It's like trying to download the entire internet through a dial-up modem, while simultaneously being punched in the face with existential dread. The golden pool shimmers placidly, innocent in its luminous glow, like it didn't just upend your entire understanding of reality. The hum of the chamber, once merely a comforting vibration, now resonates with the echoes of ancient voices, of silent, intentional communication. It's as if every molecule of the chamber is now whispering the history you just absorbed. A constant, low-frequency playback loop in your newly expanded mind. You finally manage to sit upright, leaning against the smooth, dark material of the floor. Feeling its cool, unwavering presence against your back, your headlamp, still off, feels like a toy, a relic of a simpler, more ignorant time, when illumination was just about seeing in the dark, not about having your very soul illuminated by forgotten truths. What do you do with this? The question loops like a broken record. You, with your slightly worn boots, your questionable navigation skills, and your chronic caffeine dependency, are now the accidental recipient of humanity's secret origin story. It's like being handed the keys to a cosmic library, only to realize you're the only one who can read the books. And the entire world is running around convinced books don't even exist. You think about all those scholarly debates, those earnest academics poring over pottery shards and cuneiform tablets, meticulously reconstructing a linear progression of human development. They argued endlessly about the precise timing of the agricultural revolution, the independent invention of writing, the spark of consciousness. And here you are, having witnessed a holographic projection of elegant, slender beings gently introducing these very concepts. Like planting seeds in fertile ground. Imagine the grants they'd lose. Imagine the tenure. Committees spontaneously combusting. This explains so much, doesn't it? All those perplexing anomalies. The Nazca lines which now seem less like artistic expression and more like massive aerial markers. The incredible precision of the Great Pyramid once attributed to sheer human will and a lot of very strong backs, now hinting at a profound understanding of energy manipulation. The stories of sky gods descending to teach humanity, dismissed as primitive superstition, suddenly gaining a chilling, pragmatic logic. Even Atlantis, that perennial favorite of fringe theorists, now seems less like a myth and more like a potentially exaggerated, perhaps misremembered, version of a Sara outpost, or perhaps even the main city itself, before its calculated submergence. Historians, bless their empirically minded souls, always struggled with the leap in human development, the sudden appearance of complex societies, sophisticated architecture, and advanced mathematics seemingly out of nowhere. They posited diffusion, migration, independent invention. But what if it was gentle, subtle guidance? What if the Dark Ages weren't just periods of regression, but times when humanity was left to its own devices, to stumble and learn without the careful hand of its galactic guardians? The thought is both humbling and infuriating. We weren't alone. We were being parented, or at least monitored by cosmic gardeners. The emotional impact of that final downloaded message still reverberates. We are still here. The knowledge remains. The work continues through you. That last part, through you, hits hardest. It's not just a message, it's a mission statement. You're not just a passive observer anymore. You are, whether you like it or not, part of their continued work. You look at the remaining pillars, 3 left. What other secrets do they hold? Are they more historical records, or do they contain instructions, tools, a way out? Your survival instinct, though currently overshadowed by existential law, reminds you that you probably can't live forever on ozone-tinged air, no matter how invigorating it feels. You decide to approach another pillar, the one directly to your left. Your movements are more deliberate now, less hesitant. There's a strange confidence that has settled over you, a sense of rightness, as if the chamber itself is now an extension of your mind, and you, an extension of its purpose. It's a slightly alarming feeling, to be honest. You're usually the type who checks twice to make sure the stove is off. Now you're feeling like a cosmic caretaker. As you near the pillar, its patterns begin to shift again, morphing from abstract light to something more intricate, almost biological, similar to the last one, but with a different focus. This feels like a companion piece to the life pillar. You extend your hand, no longer with trepidation, but with a sense of inevitability. The holographic projection flares to life. This time, it's a swirling vortex of data, complex mathematical equations, intricate diagrams of energy fields, and schematics of astonishingly complex devices. It's a master library of applied science, a compendium of advanced physics, chemistry, and engineering that makes modern textbooks look like crayon drawings. It details their methods of atmospheric manipulation, terraforming, gravitational control, and, most chillingly, the precise mechanisms behind the energetic cloaking and preservation of Sara itself. It's the how they built Sara, how they powered it, how they made water flow against gravity, how they achieved that silent flight, and how they managed to hide an entire city from the world for millennia. You see glimpses of devices that could purify vast quantities of water from arid air, create self-sustaining biospheres, and even manipulate localized weather patterns. It has technology that could solve every single one of humanity's current crises: climate change, resource scarcity, pollution, even disease. If only you could understand a tenth of it. But it's not presented as a simple how-to guide. It's pure, undiluted information. A torrent of highly advanced concepts flowing directly into your mind. You don't just see the schematics. You feel the principles, the underlying forces, the elegant simplicity hidden within the complexity. It's like suddenly gaining the ability to speak a language fluently. A language made of pure scientific understanding. A language that can describe the fundamental laws of the universe. There's a specific segment of the projection that catches your attention. It details the properties of the dark, seamless material that forms the chamber walls and the city structures. It's not just strong, it's a hyperconductive, self-repairing, energy-manipulating composite, capable of absorbing and emitting light and energy. That's why it glows, why it hums, why it feels cool and resonant. It's a living, breathing component of the city's power system. And the glowing sand outside? It's not just sand. It's permeated with, or perhaps is the byproduct of, the residual energy field of the buried city. A slow, subtle leak from the preservation system, patiently waiting to be found. You also glimpse the principles behind the Twin Eyes Gateway. Not just a magnetic lock, but a precise frequency resonance, a unique energetic signature that only certain organisms, or perhaps awarenesses could activate. It's a lock designed not to keep people out, but to ensure that only those who resonate with the core principles of understanding and intent could enter. You, it seems, happened to hit the right chord. Or maybe the desert, after all its coy games, decided you were worthy. You withdraw your hand from the pillar, and the scientific torrent recedes. leaving your mind buzzing with equations and diagrams you don't consciously remember. But somehow no asterisk. It's a strange, unsettling feeling, like having a supercomputer running in the background of your brain, quietly processing incomprehensible data. You turn to the next pillar, to left. The air feels even more charged now, almost anticipatory. The hum of the chamber has deepened, acquiring a richer, more complex tone. It's no longer just a hum. It's like an overture to something grander. This pillar's patterns are different again. They're less abstract, less scientific. They look like symbols, ancient symbols, not any you recognize from Earth, but archetypal forms, spirals, interlocking circles. Geometric shapes that seem to transcend culture. They pulse with a softer, gentler light. As you touch it, the projection is not a grand display of stars or cities or physics. It's a series of vignettes, tiny, intimate moments, yet profoundly significant. You see the slender beings of Sara, not in their roles as cosmic gardeners, but in moments of quiet reflection. You see them contemplating the golden pool, interacting with the earth, meditating under vast, alien skies. There are images of them reaching out to nascent life, not just with technology, but with pure empathy, with a sense of connection. This pillar is about purpose, about philosophy. It's a record of their core beliefs, their ethical framework. It speaks of balance, of interconnectedness, of the delicate dance between creation and destruction. It emphasizes the importance of observation, of non-interference unless absolutely necessary, and then only with the lightest touch. It's a philosophy that sees the universe as a vast, evolving tapestry, and themselves as humble threads within it, subtly guiding its patterns. It's the why they did what they did, why they cultivated life, why they chose to retreat from Earth rather than engage in conflict. It was not out of weakness, but out of a profound commitment to the principle of self-determination. Even if that self-determination led to chaos, they believed that true growth required struggle, and that imposing order would ultimately stifle the very essence of life they sought to preserve. You feel a wave of profound peace wash over you, a sense of cosmic perspective that makes all your previous anxieties seem trivial. Your daily worries, your petty frustrations, they shrink into insignificance when viewed through the lens of galactic stewardship. It's an almost Buddhist understanding of suffering and enlightenment, but on a scale that makes the Himalayas look like a pebble. You withdraw your hand, and the gentle vignettes fade. You stand there, a singular human being, now utterly transformed. You are no longer just an explorer, a history buff. You are a repository of ancient wisdom, a walking library of forgotten truths. The silence of the chamber is now a comfort, a womb of understanding. Only one pillar remains. You approach it, feeling a sense of culmination, a quiet certainty that this last one holds the final piece of the puzzle, the culmination of Sara's message. Its patterns are the most complex yet, a swirling, shimmering nexus of all the previous themes: stars, cities, biology, physics, philosophy, all interwoven into a single, flowing design. You reach out. As your fingers make contact, the chamber's hum swells into a full, symphonic resonance, a choir of silent understanding that vibrates through your very soul. The golden pool in the center flares with blinding intensity, casting dancing shadows up to the invisible dome, and the light from the pillar explodes into a breathtaking holographic display that fills the entire cavern. It's not just a projection, it's an immersive environment. You are no longer merely observing. You are asterisk in asterisk it. You are standing in the control center of Sara, a place far grander and more intricate than the city simulation showed. The space is filled with more of those luminous consoles and displays, all pulsing with light, all resonating with the symphony. And then you see asterisk them asterisk, the beings of Sara in their full, elegant glory. They are translucent, almost ethereal, their forms shimmering with an inner light, their faces serene and ageless. They turn to you, their eyes, not eyes like yours, but pools of liquid light, filled with a profound, compassionate understanding. They don't speak with words, but their thoughts flow directly into yours, a clear, unmistakable stream of consciousness. They are not just communicating, they are passing on a final directive, a continuation of their purpose. They show you the earth, not as it was when they left, but as it is now. A world teetering on the brink, struggling with its own self-made crises, yet also brimming with nascent potential, with a hunger for knowledge, a drive for connection. They show you pockets of humanity, individuals, groups, movements, striving for the very principles they embodied: balance, harmony, sustainable growth. Their message is clear. The time for their direct intervention is over. Humanity must find its own way. But the knowledge, the asterisk truth asterisk of who they are and what they sought to achieve, can now be reawakened. It is not for them to force it upon humanity, but for you, the one who found them, the one who resonated with their purpose, to decide how and when to reveal it. They show you glimpses of how this chamber, this core of Sara, can be used, not just as a museum of knowledge, but as a central hub, a beacon, a subtle influence. It can guide, inspire, and perhaps, when the time is right, gently nudge humanity towards its true potential, towards fulfilling the cosmic purpose they laid out. It's a tool, a legacy, a living heart. You are shown how to control certain aspects of the chamber, how to access specific data streams, how to potentially broadcast certain frequencies that could subtly influence consciousness, awaken dormant potentials within individuals across the globe. Not control, never control, but inspiration. A whisper on the wind, a spark in the dark. The final image they transmit is of a future Earth, not one where humanity is identical to them, but one where humanity has found its own unique path in harmony with its planet, and eventually, with the wider cosmos. A future where the primal truths are understood and lived, not through alien guidance, but through self-realization. The ethereal beings begin to fade, their light dimming, their forms becoming more translucent. Their last thought, a collective symphony of gratitude and hope, resonates through you. The stewardship continues. The seed has been planted. The dessert waits. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the holographic projection collapses. The blinding light recedes, the symphony of sound fades, and the chamber returns to its steady, soft, internal hum. The golden pool still glows, the pillars still pulse, but the direct interaction, the connection, has ceased. You are left alone, standing before the final pillar, reeling, yet utterly clear. You understand now. Sara wasn't just a city. It was a time capsule, a hidden school, a living repository of universal truths, and an ancient, benevolent purpose. And you're not just a lucky tourist who stumbled upon it. You're the designated curator, the reluctant inheritor, the cosmic gardener's apprentice, whether you signed up for it or not. The enormity of your new role is truly staggering. You are now the keeper of humanity's secret past, and potentially its future. The desert, with its endless sands, its searing heat, and its profound silence, had not merely hidden a city. It had cultivated a secret, waiting for the right moment, the right person to carry it forward. And that person is you. You realize you haven't eaten or slept in what must be days, but you feel no hunger, no fatigue. The air, the energy of this place sustains you. You are, in a strange, exhilarating way, part of Sara now. But the desert above, the real world, still exists. And eventually, you'll have to go back to it. How do you even begin to explain any of this? How do you re-enter a world that believes in a linear history, in scientific materialism, when you've just witnessed the grand, messy, guided ballet of cosmic evolution? You can already picture the headlines. Local enthusiast claims aliens built ancient city. Cures world hunger with thoughts. Yeah, good luck with that. The hum of the chamber is now a silent promise, a constant reminder of the incredible responsibility that has been thrust upon you. You are no longer looking for the secret of Sara. You are the secret of Sara. And the sand, ever patient, is still waiting. And your satellite phone? Still no signal. You're probably going to have to walk out of here. This is going to be an awkward conversation with the emergency services. You're probably going to have to walk out of here. This is going to be an awkward conversation with the emergency services. Yes, I'm the one who called about the lost city. No, I'm not dehydrated. Yes, it's glowing. No, I don't think they have a Starbucks down there. But they did explain the origins of consciousness. So that's something, right? Good luck convincing anyone. Your body, despite the incredible download of galactic history and advanced physics, still remembers what a comfortable bed feels like. And right now, what it feels like is a distant, fuzzy memory from a life you no longer recognize. You try to push yourself up from the smooth, cool floor, but your muscles protest, not with exhaustion, but with a bewildered stiffness, like they were trying to catch up to the fact that your brain just swallowed the entire library of Alexandria, then politely asked for seconds. The hum of the chamber, once a mysterious, resonant whisper, is now a full-blown internal monologue of universal truths. You can almost feel the equations for subspace travel attempting to compile in your subconscious. And you're pretty sure you just solved a problem with quantum entanglement without even trying. This is what they mean by information overload, isn't it? Except it's less about too many emails, and more about realizing the universe is fundamentally different from what you thought. And you're now its unwilling secret keeper. What in the desert-baked, mind-bending, gravity-defying universe are you supposed to do with this? The images of the gentle, luminous beings of Sara, their final, compassionate directive, their ancient purpose, It all swirls in your mind like a cosmic kaleidoscope. They trusted you asterisk. You, the person who occasionally forgets where they parked their car in a mall parking lot. The weight of that faith is almost as overwhelming as the anti-gravity schematics currently floating around in your frontal lobe. You finally manage to get to your feet, wobbling slightly. The golden pool in the center still radiates its serene, otherworldly light, its surface unruffled by the seismic shift that just occurred in your understanding. You walk back to the last pillar you touched, the one that triggered the final, immersive experience. You don't need to touch it again to know its purpose, to feel its connection to the overall system. It's an interface, a gateway, a point of communion. Your mind, now operating on what feels like an entirely new frequency, sifts through the downloaded knowledge. You recall the control aspects of the chamber they showed you, the subtle energetic manipulations, not complex button sequences, but intention, focus, resonance. It's less about brute force and more about harmony, like playing a truly ancient, alien instrument with your very thoughts. You approach the glowing pool, the central heart of this magnificent, buried machine. The air here is still warm, humid, sweet, and metallic. You extend your hand, not to touch the liquid this time, but to feel the energy radiating from it. You focus, drawing upon the recent download, picturing the archway entrance, the narrow tunnel, the desert above. You visualize yourself exiting, the gate opening, the system responding. A faint ripple passes through the golden liquid, widening outwards from the center. The hum of the chamber shifts, rising in pitch slightly, then settling into a steady, almost expectant thrum. The luminous patterns on the 7 pillars around the pool pulse in unison, a synchronized dance of light, acknowledging your intent. It's like the whole complex is listening, ready to respond. No awkward keypads, no error messages, just pure, elegant responsiveness. Talk about user-friendly design. You turn towards the far end of the chamber, where the tunnel entrance lies. It's still dark, a seamless, unblemished surface of the same dark material. You focus your intent, visualizing the archway opening, just as it did when you entered. You remember the signature, the resonance. You project a sense of respect, of understanding, of shared purpose. A soft asterisk whoosh asterisk echoes through the vast chamber, far clearer this time than when you entered. The dark surface at the tunnel entrance ripples, then slowly, silently, begins to separate, folding inwards as the seamless archway reappears, revealing the long, sloping passage beyond. Light, that soft, internal luminescence, blooms along the tunnel walls, ready to guide you. It's as if the chamber is bowing, seeing you off, or perhaps inviting you to return. You walk into the tunnel, your boots still making no sound on the smooth floor. The air here is cooler, still, with that faint ozone scent. The soft, ambient light guides your way, making your headlamp entirely redundant. The hum of the chamber fades as you move further away, becoming a low vibration beneath your feet, a gentle reminder that this incredible place still exists, silently operating deep beneath the sands. The ascent feels different now. The tunnel, previously an anonymous passage, now feels like a sacred threshold. You understand its construction, the purpose of its material, the elegance of its design. Every step you take is not just upward, but outward, back towards a world that has no idea what you've just experienced. It's like being shot out of a cosmic cannon back into a reality that suddenly feels smaller, simpler, almost quaint, after what feels like a long, silent climb. Though the invigorating air of Sara means you feel no fatigue, you reach the top. The archway ahead shimmers, revealing the faintest hint of starlight through its narrowing aperture. You focus again, and the two halves of the archway slide smoothly, silently apart, opening fully onto the vast, silent expanse of the desert night. The air that rushes in is cold, sharp, and carries the familiar, gritty scent of sand. It's a shock after the controlled atmosphere of the chamber. You step out, turning back as the archway begins its slow, silent ray-sealing process behind you. The dark, seamless material reclaims its perfect, unblemished surface, and the glowing sand that surrounds it. The twin eyes dim slightly, as if having fulfilled their immediate purpose. The hum, however, remains, a very subtle thrumming in the ground beneath your feet, a secret heartbeat echoing from the depths. You stand there, alone under the dizzying canopy of desert stars. The contrast is stark. Below, an impossible wonder of ancient, alien technology and cosmic truth. Above, the timeless, indifferent silence of the desert, exactly as you left it. Except now, you're not the same. You see the sand not just as inert grains, but as permeated with the energy of the buried city. The air doesn't just feel cold, it feels vibrant with unseen currents. The serpent's back in the distance isn't just a rocky ridge, it's a colossal, dormant power conduit. The sun will rise soon. You can feel the subtle shift in the pre-dawn air, the faintest lightening of the eastern horizon. You need to make a decision. Do you leave immediately? Try to put as much distance between yourself and this sight as possible? Or do you linger, perhaps try to understand more? Test your new abilities, your new knowledge, the practical side of your brain, which miraculously still functions, screams for food and more water than the small amount left in your bottle. But the other part, the newly awakened part, yearns to explore the implications of what you've learned. You realize that your fatigue is still absent. The stimulating air of Sara, or perhaps the sheer infusion of knowledge, has made you feel impossibly alert, energized. It's like you've been running on an ancient, extraterrestrial battery for the last. How long has it been? Time in the chamber had no meaning. A day, two. You honestly have no idea. You start walking, not back towards where you came from, but paralleling the serpent's back, drawn by a new, almost intuitive sense of direction. The sand, which felt yielding and tiring before, now feels subtly different, firmer underfoot, as if you're sensing the ancient pathways beneath the surface. You now know how the Bedouins navigated, not just through observation, but through an almost symbiotic connection with the land. You realize you could probably find water sources, subtle energy eddies, and hidden passages you would have completely missed before. It's like the desert has shifted from being an adversary to an accomplice. As the first fiery streaks of dawn paint the eastern sky, you look down at the glowing sand you left behind. It's fainter now in the encroaching light, a ghostly golden shimmer, but it's still there, a persistent echo, You now understand that it's not just a strange phenomenon. It's a byproduct of the city's deep earth preservation field, a constant, subtle emanation of its power, a low-level, self-sustaining leak, like a beacon that whispers we are here to those who are attuned to listen. You pass the gnarled acacia tree, the wellhead beneath it now looking less like a simple oasis and more like an ancient, integrated part of Sara's hidden infrastructure, a deliberate waypoint on a power conduit. You don't need to lower your bucket. You can feel the water deep beneath the earth, its cool presence a palpable thrum in the ground. You simply extend your hand, and to your astonishment, a faint tremor passes through the wellhead stones. You blink. Did you just? No, that's impossible. You shake your head. Must be the combination of lack of sleep and too much cosmic truth. But then, as you turn to walk away, a single, perfect droplet of water beads on the surface of the wellhead stone, just where your hand was. It shimmers in the early sunlight, then quickly evaporates. You freeze. Was that a response? A subtle manifestation of your newfound ability to interact with the natural energies of the world, channeled through the ancient technology of Sara. The implications are staggering. If you can do that without even trying, what else can you do? Are you now some kind of desert-dwelling, energy-bending superhero? This is getting ridiculous. You force yourself to keep walking. You're not here to play with water. You have a secret to keep, a legacy to ponder, and a very long walk ahead of you. The sun climbs higher, and the familiar, oppressive heat of the desert begins to settle in. But today, the heat feels different. You understand its ebb and flow, its relentless energy. You no longer feel simply oppressed by it, but aware of it, like a complex system you can now partially comprehend. Hours pass. The day wears on. You're navigating by instinct now, by an internal compass that points towards something beyond magnetic north, a path that feels right, that feels guided. You're rationing your water, but a small, nagging voice in your head, the one that now speaks in elegant equations and philosophical musings, tells you that you could probably find more if you truly needed it, if you focused. But you resist the urge to test it again, one impossible miracle at a time. Please. Your brain cells are still trying to figure out how to fold space. They don't need more pressure. The landscape changes again, gradually returning to the more chaotic, undifferentiated dunes you first encountered. The subtle firmness underfoot lessens. You know you're moving away from the direct influence of Sara's buried heart, back towards the fringes of the known world. The hum beneath your feet becomes almost imperceptible, a faint echo of the chamber's grand symphony. You feel a profound sense of isolation. This secret, this truth, it's yours and yours alone. How do you share it? Who would believe you? The world, your world, operates on a very different set of assumptions. They believe in gradual evolution, in human ingenuity, in the primacy of empirical evidence. You have just experienced evidence that laughs at empiricism, that transcends evolution, and redefines ingenuity. You can't just walk into a university and present them with a downloaded, alien cosmology. They'd revoke your library card. The historical debates you once found so fascinating now seem painfully quaint. Like children arguing over the proper way to butter toast when you've just learned how to bake the entire bread of reality. All those lost cities, those unexplained anomalies, those primitive superstitions, they all fit now, slotting into a grander, more elegant narrative of subtle cosmic stewardship. As the sun begins its slow, orange descent, you crest a dune, and in the far distance, you see it. Not a mirage this time, a faint plume of smoke, perhaps from a campfire, and then a flicker of light. A vehicle, or a distant settlement, humanity. Your heart rate picks up, a mix of relief and dread. Relief that you're not entirely lost, that you might actually make it back to civilization. Dread because that means confronting the impossible task of explaining where you've been, what you've seen, and who you've become. Do you approach them, or do you try to circle wide, to remain unseen, to protect the secret just a little longer? The weight of the stewardship settles heavy on your shoulders. You're not just carrying a secret, you're carrying a potential future. The benevolent, luminous beings of Sara didn't just give you knowledge, they gave you a choice. And that choice begins now, on the edge of the known world, with a faint wisp of smoke curling against the twilight sky. You're about to re-enter a reality that knows nothing of your true journey. And the desert, ever silent, ever patient, holds its breath, waiting to see what you will do. And the desert, ever silent, ever patient, holds its breath, waiting to see what you will do. You stand there, poised on the knife edge of a monumental choice. Approach and risk ridicule, disbelief, perhaps even incarceration by some shadowy governmental agency keen on acquiring ancient alien tech for its own nefarious purposes. Or circle wide, slip back into the world, and try to live with a secret that just fundamentally rewired your brain, probably giving you a constant, low-grade headache of cosmic proportions. It's like being handed the nuclear launch codes for reality, and your only option is to either push the button or try to explain to your neighbors why your lawn is now glowing. Your survival instincts, which have been on a rather lengthy vacation deep within the Sands of Sara, finally chime in. You are, objectively speaking, thirsty and hungry, and probably look like you wrestled a tumbleweed and lost repeatedly. So, while your brain is busy processing galactic-scale data, your stomach is making a very eloquent, rumbling argument for human contact. And let's be honest, even if you are now the reluctant custodian of cosmic truth, a hot meal and a proper bed would be pretty great right about now. Besides, the beings of Sara didn't just dump knowledge on you. They passed on a responsibility. How do you fulfill a cosmic mandate if you're wandering the desert like a particularly confused, enlightened hermit? No, you need to engage. Carefully, you choose to approach, slowly, cautiously, as if tiptoeing around a sleeping dragon. You begin to walk towards the distant flicker of light. The sand still feels different, subtly firmer underfoot, like the ghost of an ancient pathway still clinging to the surface, guiding your steps. Or maybe that's just your new, hyper-tuned senses making everything feel like a deliberate sign. Who knows anymore? Reality is just a suggestion now. As you draw closer, the flicker resolves into the dancing flames of a small campfire, nestled in the lee of a surprisingly large, surprisingly well-maintained canvas tent. This isn't a fleeting nomad encampment. This looks like a semi-permanent research station, or perhaps a very dedicated base camp for someone deeply invested in not getting lost. You can faintly make out the silhouette of a vehicle, a rugged 4x4, parked nearby, its roof laden with equipment. Definitely not your average tourist setup. The scent of wood smoke, earthy and comforting, drifts on the cool night air, mixed with something else. Coffee. Oh, sweet heavens. Real coffee. Your priorities immediately realign. Forget galactic stewardship for a moment. There's a distinct possibility of caffeine. You hesitate for a moment, just outside the perimeter of the firelight. This is it, the moment of re-entry. How do you explain the glow of your skin, still faintly luminous from Sarah's lingering energy field? How do you explain the profound calm in your eyes, masking a universe of newfound knowledge? You decide on the lost and confused explorer act. It's tried and true, and certainly less insane than I just had a tight with an ancient alien supercomputer that explained human evolution. You step into the firelight, trying to look as disheveled as possible without actually rolling in the sand. Hello, you call out, your voice a little hoarse from disuse, a little rusty from all the internal monologuing. Is anyone here? A figure emerges from the tent, a tall, weary woman, her face tanned and lined, her hair pulled back in a practical braid. She's dressed in sensible desert gear, and her eyes, though initially surprised, hold a sharp, intelligent glint. She's holding a battered enamel mug, and the scent of coffee intensifies. Bless her. Well, I'll be, she says, her voice raspy but kind. Lost your way, did you? You look like you've been chewing sand for a week. She eyes you up and down. A professional assessment. Dr. Aries Thorne. And you are? Just me, you manage, suddenly feeling incredibly self-conscious. Lost. Yeah. Stumbled a bit. Map wasn't quite accurate. This is going to be harder than you thought. How do you lie convincingly when your brain is literally vibrating with universal truth? Doctor. Thorne gestures to a camp chair by the fire. Come, sit. You look like you could use some water, and maybe some actual food. Are you with the Geological Survey? Or perhaps one of those extreme tourism outfits? There's a subtle note of amusement, maybe even thinly veiled disdain, in her voice at the mention of tourism. Scholars, always so serious. You sink into the chair, the comfort of profound shock after days, weeks, months of sleeping on hard rock or yielding sand. Neither, really, you say, accepting the proffered water bottle. It's cool, not warm, and tastes like nectar. Just an independent researcher looking for, well, ancient history. You manage a weak, probably unconvincing smile. Drive. Thorne nods slowly, sipping her coffee. Ancient history, you say. Fascinating. Most people come out here looking for oil, or a quick thrill. What particular slice of ancient history drew you to this desolate corner of the planet? Her eyes narrow slightly, scanning your gear, your face. She's assessing you, trying to place you. This isn't just polite conversation. It's a field interrogation. She's good. You hesitate. This is the moment. Do you test the waters, or cling to the mundane? The legend of Sara, you say, almost whispering. You watch her reaction closely. Her mug pauses halfway to her lips. Her expression, previously one of casual interest, shifts, becoming sharp, intense. Sarah, she repeats, the name a low exhalation. The mythical city, the one everyone says is a mirage. Her gaze now holds a glimmer of something you recognize, obsession. She's not dismissing it. She's studying you. You know of it. You ask, feigning surprise. More than most, she replies, a dry smile touching her lips. I've dedicated the last 15 years of my life to it. They call me a crackpot at the university. Say I'm chasing ghosts. But the nomads, the old ones, they still whisper about it. And there are fragments, if you know where to look. Bits of pottery unlike anything known. Strange readings on old maps that make no sense. Geological anomalies. My current theory is a lost city. Yes, but not just lost, intentionally hidden. She leans forward, her voice dropping. Built by a civilization with a technological understanding far beyond ours. The desert, you see, is a master of concealment. You nod slowly, taking another long drink of water. This is a gift, a lifeline. She's already halfway there. You don't have to convince her of the impossible, only of the asterisk more asterisk impossible. My map mentioned a serpent's back. You say, testing the waters further. Doctor. Thorne's eyes widen, a flash of genuine surprise. The serpent's back? You found it. Most people think that's just a figure of speech for a long dune. She sets her mug down with a clink. Tell me, what did you find there? Her voice is urgent now, the detached academic veneer gone, replaced by raw, hungry curiosity. A wall, you say, careful with your words. Not sand, dark, smooth stone, and then a well. You omit the glowing sand, the archway, the multi-galactic database, for now. You're easing her into it, like slowly turning up the volume on a death metal concert for someone who only listens to classical. She rubs her chin, her gaze drifting towards the distant horizon, where the first hint of pre-dawn light is beginning to paint the sky in muted purples. A wall and a well. That's consistent with some of the oral traditions. Waypoints, they called them, markers on a forgotten journey. She turns back to you, her expression calculating. You came from that direction then, towards the serpent's back? You nod. Yes, and then I kept going. The desert. It felt different. She watches you for a long moment, a silence stretching between you, broken only by the crackle of the fire and the distant whisper of the wind. She's trying to read you, to understand what you're not saying. The faint luminescence still emanating from your skin, imperceptible to most, might be visible to her trained eyes, or perhaps her sensitive equipment. Or maybe she just has a good gut feeling for when someone is holding back. You're glowing, she says, her voice flat. Not a question, but a statement. Your heart skips a beat. You knew it. You knew you couldn't hide it forever. What? You try, feigning ignorance, but it's a pathetic attempt. She just stares at you, a wry smile playing on her lips. Don't bother. I've got sensors running around the perimeter. Subtly, of course, for localized anomalies. My equipment started screaming about an hour ago. Low-level electromagnetic flux, unusual energy signatures, a faint, non-ionizing radiation field. Nothing dangerous, mind you. Just unheard of. She gestures to her forehead. and my head's been doing this funny little hum ever since you walked into the firelight. Like a very polite, very ancient tuning fork. She takes another sip of her coffee, her eyes never leaving yours. So, just me, you said, and independent researcher, and you stumbled a bit. I am going to go out on a limb here and suggest you found something a little more significant than a well, didn't you? Her tone is calm, almost conversational, but the intensity in her gaze is unwavering. She's not afraid, not disbelieving. She's curious, profoundly. You let out a shaky breath, a half-laugh of pure, unadulterated relief. Finally, someone who might actually believe you, or at least someone who is already so far down the rabbit hole they'll welcome a giant alien rabbit with open arms. It was quite an experience, you admit. The understatement of the century. Experience doesn't make your skin glow, she says dryly. And it certainly doesn't make my geomagnetism sensors red like a fever dream. She leans back, observing you. I'm a historian, technically, but I dabble in fringe archaeology, archaeocaustics. A bit of everything that makes my colleagues clench their teeth. I believe in the evidence, even when the evidence screams impossible. She pauses. So, just me. What did you find? And more importantly, what did you do down there? You look into the fire. Its flames a comforting, familiar sight after the alien glow of Sara. It's not just a city, you begin, the words tumbling out slowly, carefully, chosen with precision from the vast, new lexicon in your mind. It's a library, a machine, a record of a civilization that was here long before us. And they were gardeners. Dr. Thorne listens, utterly motionless, her expression unreadable. You tell her about the archway, the material, the hum. You recount the star map, the city blueprints, the biological database of cosmic life, the story of humanity's quiet cultivation. You describe the final pillar, the immersive experience, the transmission of their purpose, their choice to retreat, to preserve, to wait. You speak of the stewardship, the responsibility, the message. We are still here. The knowledge remains. The work continues. Through you. You try to convey the weight of it, the impossible truth that now resides within you, shimmering just beneath your skin. You speak for what feels like hours, the sun rising higher, painting the desert in golden hues. Yet the fire still crackles, and Thorne remains motionless, her eyes fixed on you, absorbing every word, every nuance. You expect disbelief, questions, a patronizing smile. Instead, when you finally fall silent, exhausted by the sheer act of verbalizing the incomprehensible, she simply nods. The primal truths, she whispers, almost to herself. The children of the stars. It wasn't metaphor. It was fact. Her voice is filled with a quiet awe, a profound realization. She doesn't question your sanity. She simply understands . It's a shocking, overwhelming relief. You are not alone. So, she says, finally breaking the long silence, her voice soft. They want humanity to find its own way, but they left the knowledge. And now, you're holding the keys to the cosmic garden shed. She looks at you, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of reverence and excitement. This changes everything. Every textbook, every historical theory, every religious text, all of it. This isn't just a discovery. This is a complete redefinition of reality. I know, you say, the weight of it settling back in. What do we do? The we slips out instinctively, a profound leap of faith in this woman you just met. But she believed you. She understood asterisk. She sips her now cold coffee, her gaze thoughtful. We don't just blurt this out. That's for sure. The world isn't ready. They tear you apart, then try to weaponize everything you learned, or bury it. Just like Sarah, humanity has a funny way of reacting to inconvenient truths. A wry smile touches her lips, especially truths that imply we're not quite as special or self-made as we like to think. So, what then? We observe. We learn. We plan, she says, her tone becoming more measured, more strategic. You've absorbed a universe of information. I have decades of experience navigating the human world, the academic world, the political minefield. We collaborate. We figure out how to slowly, subtly introduce this knowledge. Perhaps not the full truth, not at first, but the principles, the understanding, the asterisk guidance asterisk they spoke of. She looks at the golden pool of light still faintly visible on your skin, the subtle hum that you now realize is coming not just from the chamber, but from asterisk you asterisk. You are uniquely equipped for this, aren't you? It's like they imprinted their purpose directly onto you. The desert stretches out around you, vast and indifferent. The sun is fully risen now, painting the sand in fiery golds and oranges. The air is already beginning to shimmer with heat, but you feel no fear, no despair, only a strange, quiet resolve. You are not alone in this, not anymore. You have an accomplice, a fellow seeker, someone who understands the impossible. Where do we even begin, you ask? The question a whisper against the vastness. Drive. Thorn stands, walking over to her 4x4. She opens a large, heavily reinforced storage box, pulling out a tablet computer and a stack of satellite maps. We begin by getting you some real food, a proper rest, and then we start charting a new history. One step at a time. She looks at you, a mischievous glint in her eyes. Think of it as the ultimate scholarly pursuit, a research grant with galactic implications, and probably no tenure. She hands you a protein bar. It tastes like cardboard, but it's the best cardboard you've ever had. You bite into it, your mind already racing, processing not just the sustenance, but the strategic implications of her words. The world is out there, oblivious, going about its daily business, convinced of its own linear, predictable history. And here you are, sitting by a campfire in the middle of nowhere, planning its quiet, cosmic ray education. The hum beneath your skin feels a little more familiar now, a little less overwhelming. It's still there, a constant reminder of the incredible responsibility you now carry, the boundless knowledge at your fingertips. But it's no longer a burden. It's a source of strength. You are Sarah's reluctant inheritor, its unlikely messenger, and with Dr. Thorn, perhaps, its first apostle. The sun climbs higher, baking the desert. But for the first time in what feels like an eternity, the heat feels less like a threat and more like a challenge you're now equipped to meet. The Sands of Sara had indeed held a secret, but they had also chosen a moment and a person to release it. And that moment, it seems, has just begun. Now, the real work starts, and you're pretty sure you're going to need a bigger backpack for all this. And maybe a very, very long nap. And you're pretty sure you're going to need a bigger backpack for all this. And maybe a very, very long nap. The kind of nap that makes up for several millennia of unspoken cosmic truths. Your eyeballs feel like they've been scrubbed with starlight, leaving them exquisitely sensitive to the mundane glare of the desert sun, which is now doing its best to turn the world into a giant convection oven. But oddly, you don't feel the crushing fatigue you should. It's like Sarah's energetic jumpstart is still gently humming through your system. A clean, quiet energy that makes you feel both intensely alive and utterly detached from the need for conventional human sustenance, which is great, because that protein bar tasted like recycled drywall, even if it was the most welcome recycled drywall of your life. Dr. Thorne, bless her scientifically inquisitive heart, is already sketching furiously on her tablet, muttering to herself about energy signatures and geological anomalies. She's a whirlwind of focused intellectual energy, the kind of person who sees a cosmic revelation and immediately asks for the raw data. You find yourself strangely comforted by her pragmatism. Someone needs to be the anchor when your own internal compass is now pointing to a different galaxy. The key will be the frequency, she murmurs, tapping a stylus against the screen. You said the gateway responded to a specific frequency resonance, a unique energetic signature. We need to identify that. Not just to get back in, but to understand how they interacted with their environment. If they could manipulate localized energy fields, even subtly, that could explain so many archaeological inconsistencies. She glances up, her eyes bright with a familiar scholarly zeal, albeit one now supercharged by alien truth. Think of the implications for our understanding of ancient engineering. The impossible feats of construction suddenly become merely technologically advanced. You nod, chewing slowly on your cardboard bar. Your mind, in its new supercomputing mode, is already running simulations, cross-referencing her words with the downloaded data. You have the answer to her question, a feeling, a resonance, not a hard number. It's like knowing a song without knowing the sheet music. How do you translate pure sensory understanding into measurable data? This is going to be the central challenge, isn't it? Bridging the gap between the intuitive, holistic knowledge of Sara and the linear, empirical methods of human science. It is less like translation and more like trying to describe a dream to someone who has never slept. It wasn't just a frequency, you explain, trying to articulate the inarticulable. It was intent, a resonance of purpose. Like the chamber sensed what you wanted to do, not just as specific input. You watch her face for a reaction. Her stylus pauses. She looks up, her brow furrowed in thought. Then a slow, thoughtful smile spreads across her face. Fascinating, a bioenergetic interface. They weren't just building machines. They were integrating consciousness with technology. That explains the Gnostic fragments, the talk of living architecture, of temples that responded to the devout. She nods, a deep, satisfied hum vibrating in her chest. They've been largely dismissed as poetic allegory or, at best, a primitive understanding of acoustics. But what if it was literal? What if these ancient cultures, in their myths, were recalling echoes of genuine interactions with a highly advanced, biointegrated technology? She's already connecting the dots, drawing threads from obscure texts and dismissed theories. It's amazing and a little terrifying how quickly a well-prepared mind can pivot when presented with undeniable, glowing, skin-tingling evidence. This is going to be your superpower, you realize. Not just knowing the truth, but finding the people who are already primed to receive it. The ones whose existing inquiries have led them to the very edge of the abyss you just fell into. The initial plan, as Dr. Thorne rapidly lays it out, is deceptively simple. Re-establish communications, get proper supplies, and then conduct a clandestine, highly specialized, and absolutely off-the-books research operation. You are the key, the direct conduit to Sarah's core. She's the logistics expert, the academic strategist, the one who knows how to acquire the necessary equipment without raising too many eyebrows. Her existing reputation as a harmless, if eccentric, fringe archaeologist will be a perfect cover. No one expects the eccentric archaeologist to uncover an alien legacy. They expect her to find a slightly odd rock. We'll need to develop protocols, she muses, scribbling notes. How to access the information safely. How to interpret it into a human scientific framework. How to control the narrative when the time comes. Because make no mistake, just me, this isn't just his secret anymore. It's a bomb, a truth bomb. She grins, a flash of delighted madness in her eyes. And we're holding the detonator. You look at the vast expanse of desert around you, then at the distant, shimmering heat haze that hides the entrance to Sara. The weight of the bomb, of the truth, settles heavy in your stomach. It's not just about what you found. It's about what you do with it. This is no longer just a quest for personal discovery. It's a mission of profound, potentially species-altering significance. We'll need a cover story, you say, your voice sounding surprisingly normal. Despite the galactic-scale knowledge currently pinging around in your skull. For how I got here, for where I've been. Dr. Thorne nods. Of course, lost in a sandstorm. Equipment failure. Delirious. The usual. It helps if you actually look disheveled. She gestures to your current state, which, despite Sarah's invigoration, probably still resembles a particularly grumpy, dust-covered scarecrow. Easy enough. The desert is a forgiving liar. She pulls out a satellite phone, far more robust than yours, and manages to get a signal after a few tries. Reese Thorne here. We have a new arrival. Lost hiker. Requesting emergency pickup. Full medical assessment. Located at coordinates. She rattles off a string of numbers. ETA approximately 8 hours, subject to conditions. She hangs up, looking satisfied. Rescue team will think you're just another overly ambitious amateur. Nothing out of the ordinary. They see it all the time. The idea of seeing other people, of talking to emergency services, of having to maintain the facade of blissful ignorance, feels incredibly draining. Even with your new energy reserves. It's like having to act out a play you've already seen 1,000 times, knowing all the lines, but unable to speak the true script. The hum of Sara, the echoes of the luminous beings, they're still there. A constant reminder of the real reality. We'll move camp after they pick you up, Doctor. Thorn continues, packing away her tablet. Further out, less visible. We need a secure base of operations. And time. Lots of time. To process. To plan. She looks at you, a knowing smile on her face. You probably won't be sleeping much tonight anyway, will you? Too many cosmic downloads to unpack. She's right. The idea of conventional sleep seems almost quaint. Your mind is buzzing, alive with concepts that defy gravity and bend time. How do you shut that down? Do you even want to? It's like suddenly having access to all the knowledge in the universe and being told you can only browse for a few hours a day. Unfair. You look down at your hands. The faint golden shimmer is still there, especially prominent now that you're aware of it. It's a physical manifestation of the energetic imprint, a constant, low-level glow that speaks of where you've been. You wonder if it will ever fade, if you will ever truly fade back into anonymity. So, what do you think they meant? You ask, looking towards the shimmering horizon that hides Sara by the desert waits. Drive. Thorn pauses, her gaze following yours. Perhaps it means the desert, in its timeless patience, will protect the secret until humanity is truly ready. Or perhaps, she says, her voice softer, almost reverent, it means that the desert, the very land itself, is part of their system, their long game. That Sara isn't just buried asterisk in asterisk the sand, but is asterisk connected asterisk to it, drawing sustenance, waiting to fulfill its purpose when the time is right. And perhaps that time is now, because you found it. The thought sends a fresh wave of awe through you. The desert as a living, breathing part of an ancient, alien system. The Bedouins knew. Their reverence for the land, their understanding of its subtle energies, wasn't just practical survival. It was an echo of a forgotten truth. They were sensing what the rest of humanity had forgotten. The whispers around the campfires weren't just folklore. They were fragmented memories, distorted through millennia, but fundamentally true. This will revolutionize not just archaeology, but anthropology, geology, even spirituality. Imagine trying to explain to the world that every desert, every ancient landscape, could be hiding similar conduits, similar libraries, waiting for the right frequency, the right intent to be found. The whole planet becomes a map of ancient, interconnected power systems, subtly guiding life. The ley lines of fringe theories suddenly get a very inconvenient, very alien explanation. Historians will have strokes, then probably blame it on the lack of proper peer-reviewed articles from cosmic gardeners. The distant hum from Sara, previously a background vibration, now feels like a direct current flowing through you. You realize that your unique connection might allow you to perceive other such locations, other energetic signatures, points where the Sara network subtly interfaces with the planet. This could be a global endeavor, a quiet reawakening of humanity's true cosmic heritage. One discrete, well-documented anomaly at a time. It's a project that would make Indiana Jones look like a school librarian. You look at Dr. Thorn, this brilliant, unconventional woman who, by sheer chance and decades of stubborn belief, has become your reluctant co-conspirator. Her eyes, tired from long years in the field, but alight with fresh purpose, meet yours. There's a silent understanding, a shared burden, and a daunting task ahead. So, she says, finally breaking the silence, a slight tremor in her voice. Welcome to the real history of everything. Try not to break the universe before the rescue team gets here, will you? You manage a weak chuckle. No promises. Because honestly, with a mind now capable of perceiving the fundamental building blocks of reality, and a body humming with alien energy, who knows what normal even means anymore? The desert sun rises higher, bleaching the sky, and you, the reluctant inheritor of a cosmic legacy, wait for your ride, ready to embark on the next impossible chapter of your life. The Sands of Sara, indeed, still wait. And so, it seems, do you? And you're pretty sure you're going to need a bigger backpack for all this. And maybe a very, very long nap. The kind of nap that makes up for several millennia of unspoken cosmic truths. Your eyeballs feel like they've been scrubbed with starlight, leaving them exquisitely sensitive to the mundane glare of the desert sun, which is now doing its best to turn the world into a giant convection oven. But oddly, you don't feel the crushing fatigue you should. It's like Sarah's energetic jumpstart is still gently humming through your system. A clean, quiet energy that makes you feel both intensely alive and utterly detached from the need for conventional human sustenance. Which is great, because that protein bar tasted like recycled drywall, even if it was the most welcome recycled drywall of your life. Dr. Thorne, bless her scientifically inquisitive heart, is already sketching furiously on her tablet, muttering to herself about energy signatures and geological anomalies. She's a whirlwind of focused intellectual energy, the kind of person who sees a cosmic revelation and immediately asks for the raw data. You find yourself strangely comforted by her pragmatism. Someone needs to be the anchor when your own internal compass is now pointing to a different galaxy. The key will be the frequency, she murmurs, tapping a stylus against the screen. You said the gateway responded to a specific frequency resonance, a unique energetic signature. We need to identify that, not just to get back in, but to understand how they interacted with their environment. If they could manipulate localized energy fields, even subtly, that could explain so many archaeological inconsistencies. She glances up, her eyes bright with a familiar scholarly zeal, albeit one now supercharged by alien truth. Think of the implications for our understanding of ancient engineering. The impossible feats of construction suddenly become merely technologically advanced. You nod, chewing slowly on your cardboard bar. Your mind, in its new supercomputing mode, is already running simulations, cross-referencing her words with the downloaded data. You have the answer to her question, a feeling, a resonance, not a hard number. It's like knowing a song without knowing the sheet music. How do you translate pure sensory understanding into measurable data? This is going to be the central challenge, isn't it? Bridging the gap between the intuitive, holistic knowledge of Sarah and the linear, empirical methods of human science. It is less like translation and more like trying to describe a dream to someone who has never slept. It wasn't just a frequency, you explain, trying to articulate the inarticulable. It was intent, a resonance of purpose. Like the chamber sensed what you wanted to do, not just as specific input. You watch her face for a reaction. Her stylus pauses. She looks up, her brow furrowed in thought. Then a slow, thoughtful smile spreads across her face. Fascinating. A bioenergetic interface. They weren't just building machines. They were integrating consciousness with technology. That explains the Gnostic fragments, the talk of living architecture, of temples that responded to the devout. She nods, a deep, satisfied hum vibrating in her chest. They've been largely dismissed as poetic allegory or, at best, a primitive understanding of acoustics. But what if it was literal? What if these ancient cultures, in their myths, were recalling echoes of genuine interactions with a highly advanced, biointegrated technology? She's already connecting the dots, drawing threads from obscure texts and dismissed theories. It's amazing and a little terrifying how quickly a well-prepared mind can pivot when presented with undeniable, glowing, skin-tingling evidence. This is going to be your superpower, you realize. Not just knowing the truth, but finding the people who are already primed to receive it. The ones whose existing inquiries have led them to the very edge of the abyss you just fell into. The initial plan, as Dr. Thorne rapidly lays it out, is deceptively simple. Re-establish communications, get proper supplies, and then conduct a clandestine, highly specialized, and absolutely off-the-books research operation. You are the key, the direct conduit to Sara's core. She is the logistics expert, the academic strategist, the one who knows how to acquire the necessary equipment without raising too many eyebrows. Her existing reputation as a harmless, if eccentric, fringe archaeologist will be a perfect cover. No one expects the eccentric archaeologist to uncover an alien legacy. They expect her to find a slightly odd rock. We'll need to develop protocols, she muses, scribbling notes. How to access the information safely. How to interpret it into a human scientific framework. How to control the narrative when the time comes. Because make no mistake, just me, this isn't just his secret anymore. It's a bomb, a truth bomb. She grins, a flash of delighted madness in her eyes. And we're holding the detonator. You look at the vast expanse of desert around you, then at the distant, shimmering heat haze that hides the entrance to Sara. The weight of the bomb, of the truth, settles heavy in your stomach. It's not just about what you found. It's about what you do with it. This is no longer just a quest for personal discovery. It's a mission of profound, potentially species-altering significance. She gestures to your current state, which, despite Sara's invigoration, probably still resembles a particularly grumpy, dust-covered scarecrow. Easy enough. The dessert is a forgiving liar. She pulls out a satellite phone, far more robust than yours, and manages to get a signal after her. Few tries. Arise Thorne here. We have a new rival. Lost hiker, requesting emergency pickup, full medical assessment, located at coordinates. She rattles off a string of numbers. ETA approximately 8 hours, subject to conditions. She hangs up, looking satisfied, Rescue team will think you're just another overly ambitious amateur. Nothing out of the ordinary. They see it all the time. The idea of seeing other people, of talking to emergency services, of having to maintain the facade of blissful ignorance, feels incredibly draining, even with your new energy reserves. It's like having to act out a play you've already seen 1,000 times, knowing all the lines, but unable to speak the true script. The hum of Sara, the echoes of the luminous beings, they're still there. A constant reminder of the real reality. We'll move camp after they pick you up. Doctor, Thorn continues, packing away her tablet. Further out, less visible. We need a secure base of operations. And time. Lots of time. To process. To plan. She looks at you, a knowing smile on her face. It's like suddenly having access to all the knowledge in the universe, and being told you can only browse for a few hours a day. Unfair. You look down at your hands. The faint golden shimmer is still there, especially prominent now that you're aware of it. It's a physical manifestation of the energetic imprint, a constant, low-level glow that speaks of where you've been. You wonder if it will ever fade, if you will ever truly fade back into anonymity. So, what do you think they meant? You ask, looking towards the shimmering horizon that hides Sara. By the desert waits, Dr. Thorne pauses, her gaze following yours. Perhaps it means the desert. In its timeless patience, will protect the secret until humanity is truly ready. Or perhaps, she says, her voice softer, almost reverent, it means that the desert, the very land itself, is part of their system, their long game. That Sara isn't just buried in the sand, but is connected to it, drawing sustenance, waiting to fulfill its purpose when the time is right. And perhaps that time is now, because you found it. The thought sends a fresh wave of awe through you. The desert as a living, breathing part of an ancient, alien system. The Bedouins knew. Their reverence for the land, their understanding of its subtle energies, wasn't just practical survival. It was an echo of a forgotten truth. They were sensing what the rest of humanity had forgotten. Imagine trying to explain to the world that every desert, every ancient landscape, could be hiding similar conduits, similar libraries, waiting for the right frequency, the right intent to be found. The whole planet becomes a map of ancient, interconnected power systems, subtly guiding life. The ley lines of fringe theories suddenly get a very inconvenient, very alien explanation. Historians will have strokes, then probably blame it on the lack of proper peer-reviewed articles from cosmic gardeners. The distant hum from Sara, previously a background vibration, now feels like a direct current flowing through you. You realize that your unique connection might allow you to perceive other such locations, other energetic signatures. points where the Sara network subtly interfaces with the planet. This could be a global endeavor, a quiet reawakening of humanity's true cosmic heritage. One discrete, well-documented anomaly at a time. It's a project that would make Indiana Jones look like a school librarian. You look at Dr. Thorne, this brilliant, unconventional woman who, by sheer chance and decades of stubborn belief, has become your reluctant co-conspirator. Her eyes, tired from long years in the field but alight with fresh purpose, meet yours. There's a silent understanding, a shared burden, and a daunting task ahead. So, she says, finally breaking the silence, a slight tremor in her voice. Welcome to the real history of everything. Try not to break the universe before the rescue team gets here, will you? You manage a weak chuckle. No promises. Because honestly, with a mind now capable of perceiving the fundamental building blocks of reality, and a body humming with alien energy, who knows what normal even means anymore? The desert sun rises higher, bleaching the sky, and you, the reluctant inheritor of a cosmic legacy, wait for your ride, ready to embark on the next impossible chapter of your life. The Sands of Sara, indeed, still wait. And so, it seems, do you? The hours that follow unfold in a strange, dream-like haze. The rescue team arrives. A no-nonsense crew with a beat-up pickup truck and a surprising amount of first aid equipment. You play your part, the disoriented, dehydrated, but ultimately unharmed solo explorer. Dr. Thorne confirms your story with a knowing nod and a few well-placed remarks about the desert's deceptive vastness. They hydrate you, check your vitals, which are inexplicably robust, and shuttle you away from the site, back towards the rough track that leads to what passes for civilization. In this remote corner of the world, you're offered a ride to the nearest town, a dusty outpost with a single general store and a pervasive scent of stale gasoline. As the pickup bumps along, the desert stretching endlessly outside the window, you find yourself drifting into a state of quiet contemplation. The constant hum from Sara, previously a sharp, invigorating current, begins to soften, to blend into the background of your consciousness, becoming less a distinct sensation and more a gentle, internal presence. The glowing residue on your skin, you notice, has faded almost entirely, leaving only a faint, almost imperceptible warmth beneath the surface. A private ember of the profound energy you absorbed. It's as if Sara, in its wisdom, knew precisely how much to give, how much to leave as a silent echo, and how much to allow to recede, enabling you to function in the world you must now re-engage. Dr. Thorne, seated beside you, catches your gaze. Her eyes hold that deep, quiet understanding, a shared secret that binds you far more profoundly than any spoken vow. There's no need for words. The knowledge flows between you, an unspoken current of purpose. You are both now part of something immense, something patient, a vast, unfolding plan that stretches across millennia and stars. The frantic energy of discovery, the adrenaline of revelation, is slowly giving way to a calm, steady resolve, a sense of belonging to a truth larger than yourself. As the truck rolls into the dusty town, the small, familiar sounds of human activity, a barking dog, the distant murmur of voices, the clatter of a loose shutter, feel strangely comforting. The mundane world in all its chaotic simplicity, is still here, waiting. And you are back within it, transformed, yet still very much you. You'll get that hot meal now, and that long, luxurious nap. But the sleep will be different. It will be permeated by the quiet hum, by the silent visions of star gardens and ancient wisdom. It will be a sleep that recharges not just your body, but your purpose. The journey ahead will be long, arduous, and mostly invisible to the world. It will involve quiet study, subtle nudges, and the careful cultivation of connections with those rare, open minds. Like Dr. Thorne, who can glimpse the truths beyond the veil. It won't be a dramatic reveal. No grand proclamations or sudden, world-altering interventions. It will be a slow, gentle unfolding, a patient whisper in the ear of a species slowly, surely, relearning its place in the cosmic ballet. The stewardship continues, as they said. The work begins, here with small, deliberate steps. The sun begins its slow, golden descent, painting the dusty town in hues of amber and rose. The desert, stretching out beyond the horizon, seems to hold its breath, a silent, knowing guardian of the deep secrets it cradles. You close your eyes, feeling the gentle rhythm of the truck, the subtle vibration of the hum within you, and a deep, abiding sense of peace settles over your weary mind. The universe, vast and mysterious, is not a place to fear, but a tapestry to explore. A story to slowly, gently understand. And the Sands of Sara, ever patient, ever knowing, will continue their silent vigil, holding their secrets close, waiting for humanity to truly awaken. They whisper now, not with urgency, but with the quiet promise of endless possibilities, cradling the world in their ancient, knowing embrace, inviting you to simply rest and dream of all that is yet to unfold.